First item, LeBron James invokes the opt-in clause on his contract to pay him $56.2 million this coming season. Then his agent hands out a press release saying LeBron is staying. LeBron believes that the Lakers have to make this a championship team around my client. Made no reference at all about the transaction that got them Luka Doncic, another superstar, to put next to LeBron in the middle of the season. And then the agent started dropping hints that we have to do this, we have to do that. Another player opted out of his contract, and now it looks like they're losing him. Dorian Finney-Smith, the defensive specialist, the guard forward, who played pretty well for the Lakers after the trade from Dallas, opted out, and the Lakers are not going to re-sign him. The rumor is he's going somewhere else pretty quickly. Free agent window opens tomorrow. So this will be very interesting to see how they configure what this roster should be. The Lakers have about $14.8 million in budget space to try to go get a free agent, a rim protector. We've kind of talked extensively, but let me throw this at you. LeBron's made more money than God. Why does he need $56.2 million? Why wouldn't he do what the team across the hallway did? Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, remember them taking discounts, signing at a lot less than the max so the Clippers could continue to stockpile people around their stars? Now, that was one of the ways that James Harden wound up going there. Why does LeBron have to make 56.2, take less money, give them more cap space to go get more quality players? But no, LeBron and his agent, it's always got to be the max on anything and everything. So now the burning question is, how are they going to solve this thing? I'm told they're going to meet tomorrow with Brook Lopez, great veteran center at Milwaukee Bucks. But he's been here before. We've seen that. I think there's limitations. They've continued to have the dialogue with Walker Kessler of Utah. But is he the right fit? Now, he's younger than any of the other guys they're looking at. And I think there's some dynamics to him, but he's more of a plotter than he is a setter that's going to go up and down the floor and make some plays. They're talking to Portland about Robert Williams. Once upon a time, was a pretty active center with Boston. Went to Portland, suffered a major knee injury. Again, you're taking a guy off the injured list and hope he can be what he was 3 or 4 years ago. That remains to be seen. They're talking about Clint Capella, who's strictly a rebounder and a shot blocker with the Atlanta Hawks. And now there's another rumor out there that this agent from Clutch Sports may be trying to position LeBron in a sign-and trade to Cleveland to let him go back home and win a ring one more time for the hometown Cavaliers, he, of course, being from Akron. But the question is, what are the Lakers going to get? Could Cleveland take on $56 million? Oh, by the way, if you want to make this deal, then maybe you got to give me Darius Garland, and you got to give me Evan Mobley, and you got to give me a number 1 pick. Oh, by the way, Cleveland, LeBron is age 40. I just don't see this happening, but that's one of the rumors out there. LeBron's agent may be trying to maneuver a deal for another homecoming for King James back in Cleveland. So at the end of the day, I just get the sense that half the Laker fans who join us on this podcast don't like LeBron. Now they got another check mark as to why they don't like LeBron. Could have taken less, given him more money, or is the agent trying to pull a power play and get this guy shipped back home to finish his career in the 216 area code? So keep an eye on that. The Lakers, by the way, in the draft, wound up with a defensive specialist from Arkansas. But I don't quite understand Adam Thiero, who comes from Arkansas in the SEC. He's just like Rui Hachimura. Why do you need another Rui Hachimura, unless Hachimura is going to be included in some type of transaction to go get another center? So there's just a lot of unique and different things going on. It all swirls around King James. And by the way, is King James going to leave and leave his kid Bronny here? That'd promptly be followed by his outright release, I would think, if that were the case. So, John, all things LeBron, all things Lakers, I'm sure you got an opinion on this.
Yeah, I do. Now, first of all, I can never blame a person for refusing to take less in a signed contract. If it was deferred money, maybe, but you don't give up what you've rightfully earned. So I don't blame him for not taking less money.
You always side the players. You're a bloody capitalist every minute of every hour of every day.
It's a contract, and so it's right there. It's not like, hey, man, you're at extra $690 and, John Lynch Sr. rolls into your office, say, Hacksaw, we need to cut half your pay and go give it to this young Jim Rome fella. I mean, you wouldn't go for that. I mean, would you?
Or you've stepped over the line. So now the truth will come out. I will tell you, in the early years of 690, when we had money problems, me and a couple of guys from 91X talked to management and ownership about taking a pay cut for one full year to help them so they could rally back financially. Of course, I put a proviso on there. We're willing to do this if upper level management is willing to give back money too. Well, that didn't happen. But so, John, you had to step into that. See, you stepped on it. Now you got to clean your shoes. You brought that topic up, and now you got that stuff on your shoes.
Yeah, there's Hacksaw, on the cross, the martyrs to save 690 for the greater good. Well, anyways, I don't blame him for that. I mean, going back to Cleveland just makes a lot of sense. It's like Willie Mays going back to play for the Mets. And Cleveland had a disappointing season. Maybe they want to shake it up. I don't know, but I know Laker fan would be overjoyed. And whatever you got back for LeBron, you've got more building blocks that you can maybe assemble something. To me, that would be great if LeBron went to Cleveland. I mean, for the Lakers, it would be great.
John Riley, ever the capitalist. Do you print dollar bills in your hallway? Okay, that's the latest on the Lakers. Let's